Hi everyone, my name is Joyce and today I will be showing you how to make Thai green curry at home. So this is a dish that we make maybe once every 2 weeks or so at my house, and it's really simple to make. First, we're going to go over the ingredients that we need. You can see that there really isn't much to it, and you can pick any protein that you want. You just want to make sure that you have these few key ingredients, and you can get these from your local Asian mart. First, you're going to want to get green curry paste. There's many brands out there, but our personal favorite is this Mae Poi brand. Just be aware that there is shrimp in there, so if you're vegetarian, you can go and look for a curry paste with no shrimp. Just make sure that you're checking the ingredients list. Next up, you're going to need some canned coconut milk. This is what makes the curry creamy and delicious. You're going to want to make sure that this is the canned stuff and not the beverage stuff. Those are different. You're also going to need some fish sauce. This is what we're going to be using to season the curry and give it salt. Fish sauce is very widely used in Thai cooking, and this dish is no exception. Now, if you're vegetarian, there are fish sauce alternatives. You just kind of have to do some digging, but my mom is actually vegetarian, so she will use this in place of the actual fish sauce. We're also going to be using these kaffir lime leaves. They're used as an aromatic in the dish and you don't actually eat it, but this is going to give a lot more depth to the curry, and you can buy them in packs. We only need a couple leaves for this dish, so you can store whatever's left in a Ziploc bag and just freeze it. As for vegetables, we're just going to be using these canned bamboo shoots. I personally like these flat ones, but they come in many different varieties. Any of them work. Green curry traditionally uses Thai eggplants in the dish, but we didn't have that, so we're just going to be sticking with bamboo shoots today. For our protein today, we're going to be using chicken thighs that we've cut into these nice small little cubes, and you can substitute this for any protein you have on hand really, but we usually use chicken. Lastly, we just need some Thai basil to finish up the dish. So right now I'm just prepping the bamboo. I'm going to rinse it under some water after I open it because the liquid it sits in can sometimes be a little salty. So you're just going to want to open it first and rinse it under water a couple of times. If you're like me, then you probably don't like doing dishes, so I just like to keep it in the same can and have that ready for when I'm going to use it. Now you get to see me open another can, which is so exciting. I'm prepping the coconut milk for when I'm going to use it, and you can see that a lot of it sticks to the top of the can when you open it, so you want to make sure that you don't waste that and scrape it off back into the can. Look at that, so beautiful. Now that we have all our ingredients prepped, we can start cooking. At this point, you can cook a pot of jasmine rice so that by the time we're done cooking the curry, it'll be fresh and ready to eat. You'll want to use a large pot for this dish, so we're just going to heat it up and put some vegetable oil in and then add our curry paste. For this recipe, I'm cooking for 5 people, so I'm using about 5 tablespoons of curry paste and another 3-4 tablespoons of oil. You just kind of have to gauge and see as you go. You can always add more oil as you go along. So now we're going to fry the curry paste in the oil on medium-high heat just until it's fragrant, so about 3 to 4 minutes. You can see that it's popping a lot, so if you have a lid, make sure you use that so you don't get burned. Now the smell is going to be quite strong, so you're going to want to turn on your stove fan, maybe open some windows. I always sneeze when I cook this dish, and that's totally normal. Just make sure you don't sneeze in the dish itself. And here I'm just adding some oil to loosen up the curry paste. When you're stirring, make sure that you get the edges so that they don't burn. The edges are prone to burning, so make sure you get all around it. And once you get to about this point, you can see that it's a lot more loose. It's not as stiff as it once was. You're ready to add your protein. So now I'm going to add in our chicken, and we're just going to stir that together with the curry paste that we fried. This is going to allow the chicken to really get all the curry flavor inside. And at this point, you don't want to cook it 100%. You want to cook it to about 75% maybe, because it'll finish cooking when we add in the rest of the ingredients. But you definitely don't want to overcook your chicken, so keep an eye on it and lower the heat if needed. And if you guys could smell it at this point, it smells so good. So now we can add in our bamboo shoots, and same idea, we want to make sure that we're evenly distributing the flavor and all the flavors are really incorporated together. So we're gonna fry this in for about another 3 minutes until everything is well combined. Now you can see that everything has been pretty well combined. They've all been stirred together for a couple of minutes, and now we're ready to add in the coconut milk. So we're just going to mix that all together. You can see that the coconut milk, when you add that in, that's when the iconic green color of the curry really starts to show in this dish. So we also want to make sure that we're rinsing down those coconut milk cans so that we don't miss out on all the extra coconut milk that's left over on the side. Now I'm going to add the kaffir lime leaves into the curry and let those flavors infuse. I'm using about 5-6 leaves here. And now we just want to let everything come to a boil. So I'm going to lower the heat and just let it do its thing. So now we're just switching over to a ladle so that it's easier to scoop everything. We're mixing it together, and now we just want to taste for the salt level. So keep in mind that the curry paste itself is already quite salty, so when you taste, just see what salt level you like. I'm just adding maybe 2 teaspoons of fish sauce, and that's all I needed for it to be at a good spot. Now I'm just cutting up a red bell pepper. This is totally optional. It's just to add some color. And we're gonna mix that in, let it boil for a bit, and let the red bell peppers cook. You can see it's all starting to come together. And finally, all we need to do is add the Thai basil. Thai basil is quite fragrant, and so it's really going to help this dish come together. So once you add in the basil, you're going to want to turn off the gas. And you don't want to overcook the basil, because if you do, then it's going to wilt and it's going to lose all that fresh flavor that it has. So turn off the heat, and the residual heat will cook that basil just enough to get the right flavor, and you're pretty much done. Now we just gotta taste it and see if it turned out well. This curry came out just the way I wanted it. It was the perfect amount of spice, of salt. The chicken was so tender, and it was so simple to make. And I hope that you guys can try this at home.